War in 4810 countries people hate to visit. Welcome back, lovers of travel. We're going to discuss a fascinating subject today that is sure to generate some discussion. We frequently hear about the must-see locations, those idyllic locales at the top of everyone's lists of places to see. But what about the opposing viewpoint? What about the nations that people usually would rather not visit? Let's be clear before we begin. Each country has its own distinct beauty and charm, and what might turn off certain people may excite others. This list aims to explore the causes for these unpopular ideas rather than criticizing any country. What therefore makes some nations seem unfavorable? Is it the local way of life, the political atmosphere, the weather, or something else entirely? And when was the last time you had a trip that fell short of your expectations? Remember to like and give us a thumbs up so we can continue regularly uploading videos. Number 10, Romania. Nicolae and Slavic assert that while official slavery and servitude have been abolished in Romania, there are still strong forces at work that strive to maintain feelings of shame and inferiority. As a result, wealthier Roma people are less likely to discuss or acknowledge their racial heritage. In Romania's modern democracy, hate speech and bigotry are on the rise. Number 9, Australia. Australia is hated because of its racial injustices and prejudice. The United Nations human rights expert on modern forms of racism urged Australia's government, media, and civil society to speak out against the alarming hate speech and racial discrimination occurring in the country, particularly against Muslims, immigrants, and refugees. Number 8, England. Ireland, Scotland, and Wales all harbor strong animosity for England, whether it is for friendly rivalries based on sports or deeper historical grievances across the British Isles. Political commentator Paul Routledge claims that other nations hate England because they invented everything including bicycles, railroads, zebra crossings, fish and chips, football, rugby, and Greenwich Mean Time, which has saved millions of lives. Number 7, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia frequently violates human rights. According to Amnesty.org, in 2022, those who peacefully exercised their right to free speech and association were picked out by the government. After blatantly biased hearings, the specialized criminal court found persons guilty of peaceful expression, association, or community organization formation, and they were sentenced to lengthy prison terms. Human rights advocates experienced persecution inside the prison and arbitrary travel limitations after being granted conditional release from custody. Number 6, United Kingdom. The awful truth is that Britons comprehend other people very little, if at all. Consequently, they think that striking up a conversation with a stranger on the way home from work will result in an 8-hour footnoted dissertation about York Castle or something. Brits are allegedly impolite, according to the article. Here's what the rest of the world hates about Britain. Number 5, India. Manda said that the majority of minorities worldwide are marginalized as a result of colonialism, which is the imposition of power over a group or groups of land occupants, when asked why white people detest Indians. Until India and Pakistan attained independence in 1947, the Indian subcontinent was directly governed by the British, a period of time known as the British Raj. This arrangement began in 1858. Number 4, Syria. Syria is still dangerous. Even though a large number of Syrian refugees want to leave the cruel circumstances of camps and go back home, most of them simply cannot because of safety concerns. There is nowhere for some individuals to go after their homes, towns, and cities were destroyed. Only over 30,000 of the 5.5 million Syrian refugees who fled their country in 2020 made their way back, despite the fact that 75% of them, according to a recent poll, want to go home. One runs the risk of being jailed, beaten, and intimidated if they return to Syria. There are also real risks associated with conscription into the army or forced abduction. Number 3, Iraq. World Report 2023 states that in 2022, the UNDP characterized a further breakdown of the social contract between rulers and the ruled when the Iraqi government, led by former Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi, failed to meet significant protester demands. Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, authorities in Erbil persisted in endangering basic human rights and targeting members of civil society, even after announcing a new 5-year plan to address human rights problems in the KRI. Number 2, Iran. Iran has sometimes seen violent battles where protesters have set security force sites on fire. Iran saw the biggest protests in years after Mahsa Amini's murder on September 16. The 22-year-old was reportedly jailed by the nation's morality police for wearing skinny jeans and improperly donning her hijab. The morality police are in charge of enforcing strict clothing and behavior standards. It is illegal and subject to jail time for a woman to appear in public in Iran without covering her head. Iran is a nation in West Asia, officially known as the Islamic Republic of Iran and sometimes referred to as Persia in the West. The region is bounded to the northwest by Turkey, to the west by Iraq, to the east by Afghanistan, to the southeast by Pakistan, to the north by Turkmenistan and the Caspian Sea, and to the south by the Persian and Gulf Gulfs. Iran is a country that occupies an area of 1,648,195 cubic kilometers, 636,372 square miles. It is home to about 90 million people, the majority of whom are Persian ethnic. Geographically, Iran is ranked 17th in the world. It is one of the world's most mountainous countries, the second largest in West Asia, and the sixth largest country overall in Asia. Iran is a country with an Islamic majority that is officially recognized as a republic. There are 31 provinces spread throughout 5 regions in the nation. Tehran is home to about 16.8 million people in its metropolitan region, making it the country's largest metropolis, capital, and financial hub. Shiraz, Karaid, Isfahan, and Mashhad are some more important cities. Number 1. Israel. Israel is experiencing a rise in external safety concerns along with an increase in internal security threats. Given its slack reaction to organized crime, the government has been accused of turning a blind eye to its rise. Violence against public servants has increased, especially against hospital guards and medical personnel who are subjected to horrifying assaults while the government does nothing. Moreover, incidents of domestic violence in Israel have developed over time into a widespread epidemic that now affects the entire nation rather than being isolated or singular incidents. Since the start of 2022, there have been over 300 documented incidents with 40% of bus drivers involved. I appreciate you seeing. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel.